All right, let's get it. What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? It's your boy Kelly Flicks, and we back with another episode of HBC Flicks. Hello. It's gonna be a little quicker one. I do got flag football practice to go to, but I do got some time to spend with y'all. Let me make sure the audio's straight. Let's make sure we sounding good. What's the deal with y'all? All right, so we good. All right, we all good to go, man. So, yep, got another action-packed episode. Keep it a little shorter today, but hey, I'm live with y'all. So talk with me, mingle. Let's figure some things out. A couple things we got to talk about today, okay? We'll talk about my best path to the Celebration Bowl and which Division I teams that consist of. We'll also speak about my new Division II rankings. Right, I made Division II top 10, HBCU style, and 6 of the 10 teams are from the SIAC. Yes, Stephen. Yes, they are. Okay, so we'll get into that. I'll break it down, give you guys the reasons why that is, and also some players to look out for. We're going to start the show, though, with speaking about something that I think is super relevant now since it's the first week of HBCU season, really college football season. This is week 0, y'all. North Carolina Central and Southern will be playing in the MEAC SWAC kickoff challenge, whatever you want to call it, this Saturday. It's going to be one of the lone games going on. So Cam Newton, though, maybe about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, he brought up a very interesting topic, which was that he was interested in possibly being a sideline reporter, possibly covering HBCU football games. And look, plenty of people do it, but there's only one Cam Newton. Cam Newton also 6'6", 260. So let's hear about it. I want to see what he thinks, honestly. Cause we saw this it was a bigger push for this when Coach Prime was coming out, but now this seems like a little different though. I like this. Let's take a look.
Student section. I am. But I'm gonna tell you something that ain't even been talked about even more.
What's up?
Since y'all don't want me, that's cool. I want to be a part of the black college football game day.
This ball represents a cashback card that charges annual fees.
I ain't know where to put them ads at, huh? But you heard him though? He said he want to be a part of HBCU college game day. I got an idea of what the panel could look like too. But let's watch.
Now you got to bring your boy. You gotta bring me. Don't leave me, boy, baby. HBCU grad, baby. I gotta be in there now.
You talking about some good content.
Good content for the masses.
Let Cam, somebody put some money together.
Mm-hmm.
Just cover my overhead. I'll do it for free.
No, we ain't gonna do it for free.
No.
I'm
The talent. Just give the money to pay it. I'm straight. But you cover my overhead. You get me to the Tuskegees. You get me to the Savannah States. You get me to the Tennessee States, the Jackson States.
The North
You
Carolina
get me to the Morgan States, the North Carolina Centrals, the North Carolina A&Ts, the North Carolina A&Ms.
The
You get
Morehouse
me the
Bama's.
Alabama A&Ms.
Yeah.
Who I forget? Tuskegees.
Yeah, you got the test. You got Shaw. You
Bruh,
got
listen,
Winston State.
it's so many, but they ain't recognizing my peoples.
We gotta put them on our.
Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, while I got y'all attention, you find somebody that can I'll put mine up. Because I can tell you this, when it comes to box office, I can show you what's interesting about HBCUs.
Mm-hmm.
Let me and my dog Peggy rock.
We in there. Your whole family went to HBCU.
I was the white sheep. PWI. You think I'm saying? But it's all right though. I love Auburn. Love Florida.
Yeah.
Love all that. Blair College, all that. Yeah, sure about time.
One thing about them HBCUs, that culture.
That culture gonna get you every time.
Every time.
It's so much that to be talked about.
There's 3 games going on at one time.
Tell me about them games, Pete.
You got the football game.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You got the band.
Okay.
You got the cheerleading team.
Okay.
And those are the 3 games. Then you got the crowd because you're going to chant it back and
But
forth.
now
Then you
you-
got to tell you about the 5th quarter. Because after the game over with, the bands go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? We might have lost the battle, but we not going to lose the war.
That's cool. But you ain't even talking about Greek life.
I ain't even got that.
You ain't even talking about the
tailgate.
steppers.
You
The
got
Divine Nine.
Come on now.
I remember dog Piggy been helping me, bro.
I've been in there.
I ain't pledged, but I know a thing or two about it.
Shout out to all the
There's
alphas
so
out there.
much to tell the people. And I'm looking at this rollout, and I'm saying, man, it is mighty similar. Desmond Howard, Mark Ingram, what they got in common? They both won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
Who else is that? Nick Saban? Urban Meyer? What they got in common?
Coaching,
Both
national
prominent
championship.
coaches? Who was that? Reese Davis and
Rob Stone.
Yeah.
Great moderators.
You know what I'm saying? Then you got Matt Leonard and you got Kirk Herbstreit. Played for 2 legacy programs. Do you know what college Kirk Herbstreit went to?
What's good?
Ohio State.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that is right.
Then you got 2 media personalities that one played and one didn't, but they both can get the people going.
They can. They get the crowd wild.
Dave Portnoy and Pat McAfee.
Who can do that? Bro, when we went to UCF, and I had to give it to you, that was like, I know. But UCF versus Colorado was one of my best experiences, bro.
All right, I think we get the point. So, yeah, Cam Newton on HBCU campus, I ain't gonna lie, it probably could be lit. I think it would be. I think every time First Take, Stephen A. Smith and them come down, or, when Shannon Sharp was coming down, that was lit. That type of stuff dries up fans, adds to the thing, adds to the moment. But when I thought about Cam Newton coming down for, like, HBCU college game day, hear me out. Jay Walker, Tiffany, they do good for what they do, right? They can do that for the 4-letter network. Fine. But this HBCU game day, I think if you have a panel and it's moderated by either Tolly Carr or Blue, you go ahead and put Scotty in there, put Coach Cole in there, Cam Newton, I think you got something. I'm not even gonna lie. I think you got something. If you could put those guys together on a panel before games, let us take a listen to what's going on. I think you got something that's entertaining, something that's gonna drive the people. And you still got substitutes. I think Coach Cole is great because he got good hot takes and he comes from a really historical background. He's always speaking from history. Same as B.J. Jones. I think B.J. Jones, Coach Cole could be entertainable on this panel. I think they come up with a nice panel. If Cam just don't try to come out here and do this solo. I think if Sam kind of get integrated with the content creators already in the space, I think it could blow him up even more. But shout out to 4th and 1. That's Cam's podcast already. He could bring 4th and 1 down to any HBCU game he chose, in my opinion. I can't see any HBCU turning him away or acting like, Cam can't do this. I think this is totally deliverable for Cam. And for a player of his stature, this would be a good stepping stone for what he wants to do. If he really wants to get on those Power 4 sidelines and everything, he don't feel like he get enough chances, this is it. And look, some people be acting like the word stepping stone is so bad, man. Look, man, you got to start somewhere. Okay? And look, even if it's not a stepping stone, this is something that Cam could stay in and keep working in and get better in. I'd like that too if he stayed in the space. But if you just run your own company, you're not getting, the chili from it like that. I can't expect somebody to stay in this space just because they like it or they're doing well. So I get it, but I like that Cam Newton's taking this opportunity to go ahead and try to get in front of a lot of people and really preach some good stuff. So I like it nonetheless. I think Cam Newton he'll be at a couple HBCU games this year. I think he'll at least try this out. Right, this is something they could do all year, but I think at minimum, he'll try it out. Cause I don't really see any other way to kind of do this. I think he's probably not going to be on a lot of Power 5 sidelines this year. So that means he'll probably be on, probably just podcasting, certain guest shows he'll hop on, guest bits he'll hop on. But I honestly can't really see Big Cam being at a HBCU all year, though. I think that's the only difference. He'll be there. I think he'll go to a couple games, but not all year. So, next, we got some stuff off of Twitter. It's pretty interesting when you think about Mekhi Hagens over there at Alabama A&M, quarterback. Very interesting situation there. And it kind of been like some vague tweets being put out. A lot of people saying free 3, free Mekhi Hagens. So it's really like you kind of wonder like, well, what's really going on down there in Alabama A&M? So there's a lot of question marks, I would say, around Alabama A&M and Mekhi Hagens, and also UAPB. And I'm starting to kind of put things together, but it may not go together. But let me show y'all this tweet from Mekhi Hagens that he posted this week, it's kind of cryptic in nature. Here we go, right here. So there was a tweet from this guy. I guess he's like a sports guy. I don't know how credible he is, to be honest. But he put out a tweet. Mekhi Hagens quote tweeted it. The tweet goes, "Players to watch: Mekhi Hagens, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Hagens was an elite piece in the effectiveness of UAPB's offense, throwing for 3,100 yards and having 26 total TDs in 2 seasons as their starter. Has a cannon of arm with accuracy to match." All right. Then we got Mekhi Hagens quoting it up here. "I'm just ready to get back out there." That's what he said. Mekhi Hagens said, "I'm just ready to get back out there." Okay. But the reports are that you aren't playing because of academics. So what are you waiting on? Right? Which makes me go a little deeper into what's really going on with Mekhi Hagens at Alabama A&M. Maybe it's a little bit deeper than academics. Maybe it's not as shallow as Mekhi Hagens just didn't pass a summer class, and that's why he's not in the running for this Alabama A&M starting quarterback job now, right? That's why he's not with the team right now. Because all Coach Shea told us was that Mekhi Hagens is no longer with the team, right? There was no definite answer on when he's going to come back. There's no definite answer on if he's being punished, right, while he's not on the team. So that comes out, right? This is on, what day is this? August 16th, right, about 4 days ago. So then I checked UAPB's website today, and I see this. Get a bar. All right, look at that. Number 9, right? QB. Could definitely not be Mekhi Hagens, but definitely could be. Not sure. But UAPB defense stands tall in second fall scrimmage. That's the title of this, right? They got a guy, a quarterback, maybe just look like Mekhi Hagens, right? Maybe it's not him. I say that to say this. I read the article, though, right? You read through the article, they mention quarterbacks in here. And when they mention quarterbacks, let's see this first. First supposed to be KJ Sims. I want to see who this guy is. Let's look at him real time. KJ Sims, a transfer from Arkansas Tech. Let me see. KJ Sims. Arkansas Tech. All right, here we go. Arkansas Tech, 2024. KJ Sims. What position does he play? Linebacker. Okay, that's a linebacker. So leading the charge on defense is going to be KJ Sims. Let's take a look at him a little bit longer so y'all see. So he is a redshirt freshman, 2024. Yeah, 1 tackle. All right, so he's not really, he's new to the scene. New to the scene. So I ain't talking about that guy. But when they talk about quarterbacks, right? Quarterbacks in particular, talked about the receivers, freshman wideout Ellis Stewart turned heads with several standout moments. Young players gain traction. They talk about another Arkansas Tech transfer. And right here, right, they mention at quarterback, the competition remains intense. Several players are in contention for the job. And while the coaching staff has not yet named a starter, head coach Alonzo Hampton emphasized that the team is close to making a decision. All right, so I couple that with the Mekhi Hagens tweet, and it makes me think, well, when it's smoke, usually it's fire. UAPB still having a quarterback battle. Mekhi Hagens is no longer on Alabama A&M's team. But Mekhi Hagens is also talking about coming back or what he would do when he comes back. So, it quite possibly could be nothing there, but if there's anything there, man, I'm on it. You feel me? I am on it. So we'll find out. Maybe this isn't Mekhi Hagens up here. Maybe it's a whole nother quarterback, but Mekhi Hagens 100%. Where's number 9? That's number 9 underneath that football. So, I mean, it's super interesting to think about, maybe, type of movement we're talking about in the SWAC or where people are going this close to the start of the season. But, it's all a possibility. It's something to keep a close eye on. But I wouldn't die on this hill either. So, there's something to look out for. Moving on, though, we're going to get into a little bit of. I got some YouTube beef. I got YouTube beef, y'all. So Lionel from PV vs. Everybody was talking about my Prairie View A&M schedule prediction, y'all, and he didn't like it. Surprise, the boy didn't like it. I'm not sure if he actually disagreed with it, but he said he didn't like it. So let's get into what the boy said. It was nice. It was a nice little cover you put together too, Lionel. I'm not gonna lie. So let's see. 57-minute mark is around the time of the smoke. Let's see what's going on. All right, so switch that up to that. Don't worry about nothing. All right, here we go, man. Let's take a listen. Oh, shit, wrong one.
You got the screen control. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you take it away, and we're gonna listen to my guy Kelly Flicks and see what he talks. See if he talking about another side of his neck.
Practice 7. How's everything going for you so far?
Yeah, it's been okay. We're still getting guys acclimated to the heat. We went back to morning practice just because we needed to get guys in the heat. They need to feel the sun. The way we ball is a little bit different from everybody else. Some people run from it. We don't. We run to it. And we've been proud of our guys because they've been able to get through it and still get better. So much better than we were when we first started. But we're still not where we want to be. We're operating at about 60% of how I want to practice. And so ultimately, we're going to get there. But we're practicing harder than people I talk to. So I guess that's something to look forward to.
So you're all.
Hold on. I've been trying to figure out what that means. We've been practicing harder than some people that I talked to. So you talk to some other SWAC coaches, and they like, man, we ain't going that hard. Like, whatever it means. I like Coach Jackson. I'm not going to lie. I like Coach Jackson. Especially come from D2 level. I rock with him. Let's keep watching this, though.
Ultimate goal going into the next.
That's something to look forward to.
So your ultimate goal going into the next 2 weeks, what are you be looking for?
Yeah, we got to find out what the team is. We knew the spring team, we had a summer team, and then we're trying to find out what their team is and who are the leaders of that team and who are going to be the starters. So we got a little time left, but we don't have much. We'll do that over the next 2 weeks. Looking forward to our scrimmage on Saturday.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Let's put this in context, right? My boy, Coach Jackson is looking rough. Lights out again. My boy, Coach Jackson is looking rough. But one thing I will say, though, when it comes to fall camp, training camp, everybody and their mama looking rough. Come on, lights out, man. It's got dark up in here again. These outages. One thing that happens in camp, though, is the fact that, look, man, nobody getting haircuts. Everybody tired. You talk about camp, that means you got practice from 8 a.m. all the way to like 4 p.m., 5 p.m., or it might just be start at 8 a.m. So just the scheduling in general, everybody gonna look whoop. So my boy look whoop. All right, cool. The point that I really want to make was something he said around here, right? He talked about who's gonna be the starters, who's gonna be the team, who is gonna be on the team. And this is where I say when I talk about Coach Jackson's first year, right? Talking big in your first year is great and it sounds all cool, but when you know the realities of the situation, where you don't even know your first 11 starters, but we talking about how we're going to take over the SWAC, 1 plus 1 don't equal 2 in that situation. If you try to name starters and try to name wins, you can't do both at the same time. You can't. You can't. If you don't know your starting quarterback is, you can't tell me how many wins you're going to get. You can't. You just can't. It's impossible, right? So a lot of hot smoke Coach Jackson been pushing in the offseason, talking about what type of players they want to recruit and bring in here, what they're gonna do in the SWAC, how they plan on doing things and doing things differently than all the other coaches in the SWAC. Well, here we are, where the rubber meets the road. Dog days of summer. We got about 2 weeks to the first game, and here you are explaining the realities of the situation, keeping it real with the situation. We don't know who our starters are. I listened to Jackson State said, T.C. Taylor said, we have an elite offensive line, and Coach Jackson is saying, I don't know who my starters are. Two way different mindsets. Completely different mindsets. One is trying to improve their offensive line that they feel is elite. One is trying to find offensive line starters. These two are not the same. Plan A is different for these two coaches. That's why in the offseason I go, well, he has a hard time in the first couple games, first season, because there's always a transition period. You want your personnel, you want your players, but you also, as much as you think you know which coaches you need, after this first 6 games, you're going to know what coaches you need. Keep it a bean. If you have the same staff from last place or not, after the first 6 games, you'll know which coaches you need to win in the SWAC. Even though you may feel like before the season, you feel like you got the guys. Ask Coach Prime. Remember when T.C. Taylor was coaching the offense, and the offense was averaging like 25 points a game with Shedeur Sanders? Made that change real fast, right? When they brought in Coach Bartolone, right? Remember Bartolone? He was an offensive analyst from Nevada. Jackson State brings him in to be offensive coordinator because Coach Prime realized to win in the SWAC, Coach T.C. Taylor ain't going to work out, offensive coordinator. Same thing going to happen with Coach Jackson at PV, right? As much as you feel like this and that, there is a learning curve. Along with a curve on bringing players in. And the rubber will meet the road. And listening to this right here, it don't sound as confident as it usually sounds. It's probably because it's in the middle of camp. I saw him in the interview last night. He looked much more confident. But hearing what he says, understanding what's going on, PV, all that 6-7 wins, all that SWAC championship, you have to slow it down. Let's focus on beating Southern. Right? Let's beat Southern this year, guys.
Woo. Ooh, I know there's a lot, y'all. I know.
Maybe that's point A.
I know there's a lot, y'all. Pause it for me. Listen. After hearing that, I know we need to refresh for a second, right? So let's take 30 seconds to refresh, and then we're gonna get back.
Talking crazy now. We ain't used to that. Like,
well, hey, listen, I had to get my popcorn. I'm like, okay, Prairie View, they got Grambling State.
I don't know what they talking about now. Hold on, let me pause it real quick. I was cooking they ass. Oh my God. Hey, I was cooking them. Oh my God. That was the video they supposed to be responding to. So let me scroll forward a little bit. They're gonna respond to it, I guess.
But let me.
I ended up hopping on the stream and everything for a little bit.
Man,
Here we go.
that's better comedy than Bernie Mac. I'm just saying, I don't, and that's kind of a bad spot where I froze with that. My bad. But how many ways can you tell me you didn't even peek at our roster, even the one that don't have all the players on it, without telling me you hadn't peeked at the roster? So that's pretty funny. And he's talking about beating Southern. We got to win the first game. So Southern's down the line. So I guess he just pulls teams out the air. I was trying to figure out what data he was going to use to support the reckless talk that he was doing. And you didn't get to it yet, but he said some interesting stuff about UTRGV, which I could tell he didn't study them neither. Now, people going to laugh in the comments, talk bad about me all you want. But if you actually look at that team, they are University of Texas. They're just in Rio Grande. They have put a lot of money behind that team. Not saying they're going to be good first year, but I'm just saying they put a lot of money behind that team. This is not some NAIA team. I give them 2 years. I give them 3 years, and they'll be past most of the SWAC teams. So
while he, because he has said some interesting stuff about the Prairie View schedule. Is it the hardest schedule we've had in years? No. But to me, it's a good schedule because we have how many SWAC opponents that were scheduled as non-conference? How many we have?
Yeah, I keep saying that, Zach. It ain't gonna take them long. This is a huge school, buddy. They got a lot of resources behind them. It ain't gonna take them long to be fighting for the top of the South, man, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean,
let me cut in right there. UGR TV, HD TV, they're going to be good in 3 years. All right, we talking about this year. HD TV, School of the Televisions and 50 inches. They're not doing nothing. And they're on your schedule. And nobody's really disagreeing with me either, if you really think about what they're saying. I think they just don't like the way I'm saying it, y'all. I'm not going to lie. I think they just don't like the way I'm saying. I think I hurt their feelings. I actually don't feel like anything I said they disagree with. He said the schedule is soft. It's not the hardest they've played against, right? So you think it's soft. Okay, got it. Let's keep watching, man. Let's keep watching. I want to kind of get through the whole thing and then, again, get into my little, what I want to get into.
They sold out already of their season tickets. And this is their first year. So all they had to do is be okay this year, and they'll still have support. Not, they're excited about that team. So they're going to get some serious support. So,
yeah. And we're going to let the rest of it roll. But first thing I just got to say, man, is I think there's a misunderstanding that, people are funny, man. People are funny. Because they will read a lot of stuff in the things that's not there, right? And he even said, I heard his interview the other day, and he seemed a lot more confident. I mean, listen, man, the man's just coming from leaving the field, going through scrimmage in the dog days of summer and fall camp, right? You know what I'm saying? You acknowledge that yourself, right? You look beat up, look tired. People don't get haircuts. What does that have to do with confidence? I'm confused, right? Because obviously, the next time you seen him, he said the same thing, right? He was on HBCU Coach Corner again, by the way, another show. And Mr. Campbell can tell him, right? Because he asked what the standard was. He told him, host a SWAC championship, win it, go to the Celebration Bowl, win that too, right? So obviously, it didn't change his mindset and thought process. But I think people don't understand that Coach Jackson is coming in with a certain standard in mind that he has and that he's looking for, right? That's the thing that's missing here that he's not understanding. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I was trying to, if I was on my computer, I could get the call-in line up, but because my computer has been giving me trouble, that's the reason I don't have a call-in line up, unfortunately. So if I can figure something out to get it up, then I would definitely get it up for you guys. But yeah, that's the reason it's not up right now. But it was ready to go. But
I ain't gonna lie, the boy just yapping right now. I just thought of something though while he was yapping. I put up a tweet not too long ago. It was about Prairie View. It was a pretty positive tweet actually. Let's see though. Y'all up in my DMs. Here we go. This tweet right here. I just found it. I had to send it to my. All right, so here we go. Here's a tweet I put out. Take a look at the size on D. Damn, that's a pause. Take a look at the size of the D line at Prairie View A&M. We talk about Elijah Sparks, Chris Harvey, Patrick Kendall, Diallo McGee. Then all these dudes over 300 pounds, right? I wanted to see who quotes. I think some people quote tweet. I wanted to see who quote tweeted. Kind of view the quotes or something. Was it anybody? Chris Harvey. Oh, there you go, Lionel. There's Lionel. All right, so y'all tell me I don't do research. Oh, he corrected me. That's what it is. Okay. He added a couple more linemen. All right, but y'all got 15 linemen. I mean, y'all was on my side not too long ago. Can't believe they can't understand why my coach talked the way he talks. I was a great researcher not too long ago. Dave PNP on there. PV Nation. It's lit, right? Hey, when I was researching and telling y'all about the good stuff, it was all right? Y'all wanted to add more. You feel me? Let's keep pushing it. But when I talk about reality, when I talk about week to week, what it actually gonna look like, Y'all adding all type of stuff. There's another one that's 6'8", but you didn't hear that from me. Look, when I say the things you like, oh man, you know what you're talking about. When I say what you don't like, oh man, see the thing you don't do that's like Blue. You know the way Blue do it. If you would have said it like Blue, if you would have gave me some statistical evidence, you know, it's a lot of ands and what ifs and buts and buts. But when I tell you what you like, oh man, they don't know what's coming, y'all. They don't know what's coming. They not even gonna see it coming. Well, you know it was Kelly Flicks on that tweet, right? That's me, y'all. I want to get back to what they were saying though, cause they didn't like the way I predicted the schedule either. They ain't like nothing I was doing, man. It's crazy. What could he have done to make them so mad? Let's find out.
Because my computer's been giving me trouble. That's the reason I don't have a call-in line up, unfortunately. So if I can figure something out to get it up, then I would definitely get it up for you guys. But yeah, that's the reason it's not up right now. But it was ready to go. But the thing is, right, this is the word, right? Competition. I think people ain't heard it in a long time. Listen, competition, all right?
Oh,
and when you bringing in guys that at every level, I mean, literally, there's competition in every single room. That has nothing to do with him being that he got elite guys in the room. But listen, if I got 10 guys as elite, I still got to make the determination to see, hey, man, which one of these guys that we brought in is going to lead us right in the tight end room, is going to lead us right in the wide receiver room, is going to lead us right in the DB room at the end of the day. That doesn't mean right that there isn't elite competition in the room. You know, again, this is just him reading into this whatever he wants to read, misunderstanding the fact that, man, listen, PB has brought in some dogs, all right? You know what I'm saying? He done brought in some dogs, right? We talked about the defensive back room all the time. I haven't seen a situation like this where you talking about all of these transfers coming in, having plenty of snaps under their belt. They're coming from programs where they were that guy at their program and they're coming in. So you got to make a determination. And I told y'all this before, right? Even in the spring. Man, listen, that DB room, I'm like, man, I can't even lie. I don't know who gonna be sliding in as day one starters because there's so many guys who can get it, right? They got multiple guys who are like that on this team. And at the end of the day, right, he's building this team so it's a program to where there is no drop down between the ones and the twos. There is no drop down between the twos and the threes. And that's what he's trying to do across the board, right? And so at the end of the day, right, competition. Oh, and there go that West Coast. There go that West Coast Cali Kush. That West Coast Cali Kush is in the chat. The West Coast Cali Kush is here. Let's go. All right, listen.
Y'all thought I wasn't finna pull up?
Listen, what West Coast failed to realize is that word competition, right? Competition, all right, is in every room on the hill right now. And so at the end of the day, it don't mean that the rooms ain't elite, but boys still gotta determine, right? We still gotta determine, right, who's gonna be that day one starter. That has nothing to do with the talent that's in the room at all whatsoever. Period, point blank, right? Let's play. He got front row seats. Let's play the rest of them. Go and let it roll, Mr. Nichols.
All right, let it roll. See what we got here. We need to let Kelly Flicks tell it for us.
Shut up. It runs through Southern. If you can't beat them, don't pop it. Just don't. Do us all a favor. You save us all the watch hours and just don't pop it. Because at the end of the day, you have to play these teams. So let's go through PV's schedule. I'm popping it.
Oh, here you go, man.
I'm popping it on them.
This is it right here. This is it.
All right. So let's check out the PV Prairie View and them schedule. Boom, bop, bing.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
I know I don't play. I'm doing it on live.
Go, Kelly Flicks. Let's go.
2025. That's the schedule. No, thank you. All right, here we go. Schedule. Let's go through. Got my pen. Got my sheet of paper. All right, PV. I ain't playing with you, Tremaine Jackson. All right, game one at Texas Southern.
Skill-wise, I think Prairie View A&M will be better. Who do I think wins the game? Texas Southern. Get Texas Southern that win. All right. Next game, UTGRV, whatever. They are a glorified intramural team. This is their first year playing football, and they're playing Division I.
Yeah.
Beat their ass. That's a win for PV, right? I got one win for PV right there. All right, so now we got PV on there. Next game, at Rouse. That's it. At Rice, you're going to get cooked. It's over. At Northwestern State, this should be a resounding W. This non-conference slate, overall, is booty cheeks. Very soft. UTRGV, Vaqueros, first-year program. Northwestern State lost like 60 games in a row. Something crazy like that. Down at the bottom down here, y'all ain't seen it yet. Lincoln, California is a homecoming game.
Yeah. We got stuff.
3 of the 4 non-conference games you're playing against are either barely Division I programs or non-NCAA affiliated, other than Rice. I digress, though. Let's keep going. Let's go ahead. Let's predict the schedule, though. Let's predict the schedule. Rice, that's an L. Northwestern State, that's a win for PV. Grambling, I'm not that confident, but it's at home. And PV beat Grambling, I think the last time they did the State Fair Classic. Get the odds to PV, right? PV, that's 3 wins. 3 wins, 2 losses so far. Moving up, you got Alcorn, that's a loss. Alcorn, that's a win for Alcorn. You got a bye. Hopefully you win that. Next, you go at Southern, that's another loss. After Southern, you play against Lincoln, California. That's a win. I ain't gonna lie. Look at their faces. Hold on. Slow it down. Look at their faces. They are stressed. You can't tell me they ain't stressed. Hey, when somebody tell you the truth about a situation and you really having a hard time grappling with the truth, you look like this brother up here, Lionel. You see, look at him. That boy can't believe it. He's showing the hairline and everything. He can't believe it. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Crook, what's the deal? Will Wallace, what's the deal? No Slack in the SWAC podcast. What's the deal? Yep. Y'all rocking with me. John Bennett, man. You keep it JSU strong. I ain't gonna lie. Franklin K, what's the deal? He JSU strong for real. We're gonna keep watching though, but look at their expressions while I'm telling them the news. Cause they don't seem upset. It look a little sad. Not gonna lie. It look a little sad. I'm gonna back up just a little bit so I can watch their reaction a little bit. As I talk about the games, a lot of disbelief. It's kind of funny though. Let's do that. Right? Next. Alcorn. That's a win for Alcorn. You got a bye. Hopefully you win that. Look at their face. At Southern, that's another loss. After Southern, you play against Lincoln, California. That's a win. Right? Then you play Alabama State. That's a loss. They ain't beating Bama State. I ain't seeing that.
Okay, you only beat them how many times in the last 11 years?
9 out of 10 against Alabama State. 9 out of 10 against Texas Southern. 6 out of 7 the last against Grambling. Just let it roll, though. Let's let it roll. Because he makes a statement that I want to respond to, too.
Another loss. I think that would be a great game. A great game, right? Because you think about the 2 former Division II coaches. You got Coach Sam Shea going against Jermaine Jackson. Sam Shea was leading a very strong Miles team that won the SIC championship and won a playoff game. At that same time, Coach Jermaine Jackson was out at Valdosta State coaching a top-ranked Valdosta State team that went on to lose in the championship, right? They actually could have played each other in an alternate universe. This will be a great game. But I think Alabama A&M has a better roster than Prairie View A&M, right? So I get the odds to Alabama A&M. Next game, you got UAPB. That's a win for PV. And then you got Mississippi Valley State. All right. According to my notepad right here, we got 1 win, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 losses. A 6-6 even schedule, right? Say we go 6-6. Now keep in mind, of the 6 wins, we're beating Mississippi Valley, UAPB, Lincoln, California Oaklanders, Northwestern State,
and UTR, GV, HGTV. That's the 5th win. Understand the wins. This schedule is soft. It's charming soft. It might be soft. It ain't softer than Morgan State's. It's up there, though. You got Morgan State level softness, and then right underneath Morgan State level softness, you got Prairie View A&M level softness to schedule. It's that close. It's margins. I don't know too many other schools in the country that play UAPB and Mississippi Valley.
All right. Okay. Now, just pause it. Hey, Mr. Mickens, can you do me a favor and look up Mississippi Valley schedule? Okay. Can you do me a favor and look up Mississippi Valley schedule? Now, why we do that though, right? Listen, I can't listen to nobody who don't even know that Sam Shea got cooked in the D2 playoffs by one Tremaine Jackson. How you want me to listen to this person? How you want me to think?
Let me cut you off right there. You're right. I misspoke. You're right. I follow SIAC. I know how to. I misspoke. You're right, though. T-Jack and Sam Shea faced off. Valdosta beat the brakes out of Miles. Miles just couldn't score as many points out of him. It was nasty. So, I mean, I get you, but, like, you don't believe me because I got that game wrong? That's where you stop believing me at? Not when I said UGR, HGTV ain't good. Not when I said y'all losing to Texas Southern. It's when I can't recount a fact from a year ago. That's tough, my boy. I guess if that's what I don't know. That's how you think. Shit. That's how your head works. I don't know. Let's keep it going.
That he knows anything about what he's talking about. Because listen, if he ain't looked enough to know that Coach Tremaine Jackson cooked Sam Shea, then you really want me to believe that he didn't really look at Prairie View's program and really is giving an accurate assessment based on what he really feels after he's looked at the program? He ain't looked at nothing. That man just talking. He ain't did not a lick. See, that's why I say I can respect Zach because Zach gonna say, I don't think y'all gonna win because of this, and this. Period, right? I can agree with him. I can listen to him. But now I'm gonna listen to Tim Rosario more because Tim already say Prairie View is that team. Okay, I'm listening to him more. But my point is, they done actually looked at what they talking about at least, right? I can respect that. I can respect their boys that actually looked at and paid attention to what they talking about. They're not like these trolls on here who just be talking just for no reason, right? But now my guy from Cali, on that good Cali Kush, is saying something of what he knows not. Because if he don't even know, see, he done made 2 blunders already. He already done made 2 blunders. The first blunder he made was on one of his other shows when he said that Coach Tremaine Jackson had a bad first year at Colorado Mesa, not realizing that Coach Tremaine Jackson didn't coach Colorado Mesa that year. He was 2-1 in his first year, and obviously had the winning season, the huge winning season in the second year. So let's be clear. So that was
questionable. It was a COVID year. It was kind of split up. It was like a fragmented year. Really kind of coached at a weird time, but I hear you.
Incorrect. Now he come with his second incorrect piece of information. Not even know that alternative universe he talked about is the actual universe, okay? The alternative universe where Coach Tremaine Jackson and Sam Shea play each other was the actual universe, right? The alternative universe would be them not playing, all right? That would be the alternative universe because they actually did play, and Miles got smoked. Coach Sam Shea got smoked, all right? So again, how y'all want me to believe and listen to somebody, right, who I know ain't even looked into the program? You know what I'm saying? Now, I done dropped the link, so if he want to come up and correct it.
All right, the boy popping it. I'm not going to lie. He picked kind of a weird hill to die on, but I'm going to leave you on that hill, and we're going to let you die right there. You ain't going to lie. We're going to let you go ahead and do that. Question number 1, am I on that California Kush? Yes, of course I am. What you mean? Of course. But will PV be 6-6? Yes, of course. These things hurt feelings. It's okay, though. It's all right if your feelings hurt. It's okay if you disagree with me, too. That's fine, right? I've been right about a lot of different things, though. A lot of different things. I'm not about to sit here and talk about everything I've been right on. But what I do feel strongly about is that PV is going to have a transition year in the SWAC. However you want to put it. If that means a transition year is 6 wins, if it means it's 3 wins, or if it means it's 7 wins, it's going to be a transition year. And this ain't going to be as sweet as all these, well, not all these people, as Lionel is making it, y'all. That's mainly who my pushback is to. It's to Lionel statements. A lot of the PV fans is cool. I'm not even going to front. Y'all kind of, y'all all right. You know what I mean? You guys just take the wins and keep it rolling. It ain't too many big predictions like that. But your boy Lionel is going to have y'all thinking y'all winning 10 games when it's not going to happen. You can't even find the 10 wins. But another thing, right, because I am on that California Kush, he asked a question, how many other teams are playing Mississippi Valley and UAPB? All right? And I'm pretty sure there's like around 100 FCS teams. It's like 90 D1 teams. It's like around 200 teams that play Division I football. I think only 4 teams in the nation play UAPB in Mississippi Valley State. 4 teams. And they all in the SWAC. 4. You guys have the privilege of having some of these softest schedules sometimes if you get Mississippi Valley and UAPB. Take it for what it is. Those programs are some of, top 10 worst programs, top 20 worst programs in NCAA. The fact that you play them is a blessing on your side because you get a chance to get an easy win, right? But to everybody looking on at you, that's a soft schedule. That's a very soft schedule. Because not only is your non-conference NAIA schools, your in-conference is the bottom of Division I football. It's the floor. Now, shout out to Valley and what they got going on with Coach Bugley. Shout out to UAPB and what they got going on with Coach Hampton, right? Both of them have proven, Hampton has proven to put out top players. Mekhi Hagens, he also put out a running back this past year at Oklahoma. He's starting at X receiver right now. So, shout out to them completely. But there's no way we going to die on this hill of, because your facts not like blues. Wait, my ice not cold enough, my boy? Because I ain't going to lie. I wouldn't be surprised if Blue have PV winning more than 6 games. Keep it a buck. I kind of want to listen. I think he said a little bit more. I end up hopping on there. And I'm not going to lie. I try, y'all. It ain't no way to persuade these guys, man. They far gone. You know, people used to talk about the coalition at Jackson State. Well, PV got their own. They got a 12-man coalition. The 12-man coalition, them boys, it's like, I don't know. You can't even get to them. They like the guards of the, up in Great Britain. They like those guys. You can't even get to them. You can't crack them. So I hopped on there. I was in there for maybe like 5-10 minutes. They wasn't hearing it, man. They wasn't hearing it. They don't think that Southern's a dominant team in the SWAC West. It's just some things I can't debate that are actual facts, right? They're trying to debate that Southern isn't a dominant team in the SWAC West. I can't get that. Can't get with that. If you think that this PV schedule is difficult, I can't get. You could get a schedule to Jackson State, and they might go like 13-0. Like, be for real about this schedule right now. If we can't, I can't even think of the word right now. If we can't agree on the little things, we really not gonna get nowhere in the conversation. I'm not gonna lie to you. But we'll play this. Let's see what else he got, man. He was popping it, so it's like.
I done dropped the link, okay? So it's there. If you want to come up on StreamYard, all you got to do is click the link and come on up right and correct the incorrect information. But according to what he's saying right here, he said that they ain't play. That was an alternate, but listen, they did play, okay? And they got their business to them. Now, he also said, who else plays UAPB and who? What's that name of the school? What's that name? Mississippi. Oh, I wonder who else plays there. Can you make that bigger? Can you make the screen bigger so we can all see this together, right? Because he's saying this schedule is soft. Oh, this schedule is soft. Oh, such a soft schedule. Oh, it's so charming, soft. Such a soft schedule. This is interesting, right? Now, he also says they ain't got nothing to do with it because of the SWAC game, right? I understand that, right? The SWAC mandated that we play Valley and UAPB this year. So even though he mentioned that, he said, "Oh well, the SWAC mandated that, right?" But who else plays UAPB and Mississippi Valley? Oh, I wonder who else plays them. Let's just pay attention, shall we? Shall we pay attention to 2025? Now, who might that be on the second game of the year in week 1 playing one Mississippi Valley State? Mr. Mickens, what school name is that right there? What school name is that?
Looks like Southern. Trying to make
Oh,
out
it
what's
looks like Southern University. Mr. Kelly Flicks. Mr. Kelly Flicks. Where are you in the comments, Mr. Kelly Flicks? I mean, come on, Mr. Cali. Mr. Cali, I need you to come up because you're wondering who else plays, so I'm going to help you understand who else plays.
I couldn't even take this shit
serious. I know
serious.
you didn't research it, so I'm going to show you who else plays Mississippi Valley and UAPB. You know that Southern's in the West, right? So I hope you know that Southern's in the West at least, right? So I shouldn't have to explain to you that Southern already plays UAPB every year, right? I'm just gonna assume you know that already, okay? But because you didn't know that Sam Shade and Tremaine Jackson play, but I'm gonna assume that you know that already, my guy. But listen, you know who else plays them? Southern University. Oh, this team that you keep saying, that you keep bringing up, that we got. Oh, Southern. Oh, big bad Southern. Listen, man. And let me tell you something, Mr. Kelly Flicks. You know what's even more booty cheeks as you quantify it? You know what's even more booty cheeks? You know this ain't even a conference game. Oh, this not even a conference game. You telling me that Southern playing Mississippi Valley and it ain't even a conference game? That's a non-conference game. But our schedule. Now, and this the reality, right? And this I've been told y'all all today already. That's why y'all can't be listening to people, right? Because y'all already know, right? This schedule for this year, this ain't even no. And first of all, I ain't got nothing to do with Northwestern being bad. They ain't got nothing to do with me, right? I ain't got listen, UTRGV, I ain't got nothing to do with that either. Listen, these are Southland Conference programs. We done been playing all the Southland Conference programs who want to get on the schedule except SFA because they already know we gave them their business years ago. They never want to be on our schedule again. But everybody in Southland, we play them. All right? So I don't want to hear nothing about none of y'all talking about no schedule. I don't care what y'all talking about the schedule in the first place, right? The schedule could be the worst schedule in the world. It don't matter to me. We win the chip, all right? But the reality is, y'all already know, bruh. We the one, right, who out here really playing teams. Last time I checked, I ain't never seen none of these other schools step out and play UI-Dub. I ain't never seen none of these other schools step out and play a UI-Dub.
But what does that have to do with 2025? Like, look, yeah, hey, PV. You know you want a round of applause for playing UIW, letting Cameron Ward score 50 points on y'all, right? Because y'all play UIW. Let's look at the damn game. Y'all play UI. Did y'all play UIW? One team didn't show up. I think UIW came. Pause. I don't think y'all. Did y'all play UIW, Lionel? Did y'all? Can we be for real right now? Because this wasn't even a game. 56-28. Do we got to look at the stats? You mentioning games that you don't even want to talk about, man. This wasn't even Cam Moore wasn't even there no more. This is Zach Calzada, 3 tubs on y'all, 300 yards. One receiver, 12 catches, 170 yards, man. Look, the 12-man coalition, y'all don't want to do this. I don't understand how we keep getting to this point.
All right? But the reality,
I don't understand how we keep getting to this point. And I really got other stuff to talk about because I got flag football practice in a minute, okay? But, I had to let y'all see the full scope of this madness. This happened, I think, last week, man. Shout out to Lionel, man. He cool people, but the boy be a little delusional. He a little delulu sometimes, you know? He a little delulu. And, he thinks that Prairie View better than Southern. All right, let's see what Prairie View has done with Southern last couple of years. Southern versus PV, AMU football. Let's see the past couple of years, what has been going on. Football history between the two. Is that 2010? Hold on. I need a new one. So, all right, 2024, PV and Southern. All right. I need to see every year. All right, here we go. September 21st, 2024. Loss, okay. November 11th. You guys beat PV. Okay. I don't remember that at all. That was in 2023 though. 2022, lose to PV, 13-45. Put hands on y'all. 2021, you beat them. So it's a little back and forth. But then 2019, you lost. So all I'm saying, PV, is let's focus on beating Southern this year. It's a simple request. Simple request. This is what happened last year. It's a simple request. Let's just beat them, and maybe we'll take y'all a little bit more serious. Right? Maybe we'll look at y'all and say, okay, maybe PV should be in the front runner spot to win the West. Right? But until that happens, until this score is reversed, my boy, we do not believe you. We don't think it's you. We don't. And all the hot smoke we're popping and trying to make this stuff seem kind of cool sounds great. But all the football heads, we know what's going on. We know what's going on, bro. In the middle of the summer, you could just pop it and say, like, hey, you know, we got all these great players coming in the fall. It's going to be real good for us. Cool. But in training camp, we ain't seeing no video clips of no players standing out. We're not seeing a lot of articles about the team. Like, what do we have to go off to say that this team is going to be good, Lionel? What do we have to go off? Because they transferred from some school and they weigh certain and have a certain measurement? What from this year are we going off of? Lionel, your guess is as good as mine on the prediction on PV and what's going on. But we got to use some context onto how good this team is today and how well they can do this year. Right? There has to be a ceiling on success. I'll be interested to know what Lionel's ceiling on success there is at Prairie View A&M. Because my ceiling is 7 wins. Keep it a buck. 7 wins. And that's if things work out in non-conference. Say Prairie View loses to UGR TV. It can happen, right? Because they was gassing up UGR TV. Like, this is some strong team, right? They're going to be a great team in a couple years. So it has something to do with 2025. Don't work like that. Don't struggle with Northwestern State, who's had trouble winning games the past 3 years. I think Grambling beat them last year with like 6 interceptions or something, or unless that was Texas A&M Commerce. I think it was Texas A&M Commerce and Northwestern State. Grambling beat them with like 6 interceptions. So we got to be for real about some things. So what I think I'm gonna do, y'all, I think I'm gonna make the D2 rankings. I'll be a separate show. Right now, we're gonna go through some teams and we're gonna find out which teams have the best path to the Celebration Bowl. And is it team number 1 is a team that I ain't gonna lie, I'll be talking crazy about Alabama State. I do because they let me down every year. They look like the most pro-ready team. They look like one of the best teams in the SWAC coming into the season, and consistently they let me down. It's unbelievable how much they let me down. So we're gonna go through Alabama State's schedule, and I'm gonna talk about why I think they have one of the easiest paths to the Celebration Bowl. Because I mean, in the midst of all this non-conference banter, look, it has nothing to do with the real championship, right? So when it comes down to Celebration Bowl, top rankings, power rankings, it's gonna come down to your conference schedule. Right? How difficult is your conference schedule, whether this is in the MEAC or in the SWAC? Shout out to everybody up in the chat, though, man. Shout out MEAC Mike in the deal. What's up with you, my boy? David Jackson, what's the deal? Co-pilot 1911. They going to lose to the TV. Yeah. They better not lose to the TV station. Crook, been in here with it. Will Wallace, what's the deal? All right, so let's get into it, man. So we got Alabama State 2025 schedule up right now. Let's talk about this schedule and what the major differences are. So I made a couple notes when I was going through these schedules, and when I talked about the strength of schedule within the SWAC, it really came down to these 3 teams, right? Jackson State won 12 games last year, Florida A&M won 7 games last year, and Southern won 8 games last year. I think the teams that don't have 2 of these teams on their schedule, if you don't have a Jackson and Southern on your schedule, a Jackson and FAMU and Southern, a team that doesn't have these teams on your schedule, you are more likely to get to the SWAC championship. That's just in my opinion, right? If you don't have to face these top teams, you have a better chance of making it to the SWAC championship, right? So when I look at Alabama State's schedule, it's interesting because they have all three of these teams on their schedule, right? But they have made up a very soft non-conference schedule. Let's get into it. All right. At top of the schedule, they play at UAB. That's against a Division I FBS team. That's a loss. You're not going to beat Trent Dilfer and them boys. Not happening, right? But then you play at Southern. Could be a good chance to catch Southern. Southern's going to be coming off of the MEAC SWAC Challenge. It's going to be a very hard-hitting game between Southern and North Carolina Central this weekend. I think that, honestly, both teams are going to run the ball hella. It's going to get super trench-worthy. And going to the next week, you got to believe they might have some injuries. And, look up and you got to play against the Alabama State team that has a lot of tough defense, has a very mobile quarterback in Andrew Body. So I get that advantage to Alabama State. Next up, you play Miles College. Miles, this is not the Miles from 2024 or 2023. This is not that, right? Their coach left. That's a win for Alabama State. Currently, I got them at 2-1. You have a bye week before you play against Florida A&M, which I think is very important. You have one of your toughest games of the schedule, Florida A&M, and the week before you get an extra week to practice and game plan, which is super important when you talk about what this Alabama State team is going to need to win that game. It will be at Bragg Memorial. Right? And we've seen how difficult it is to win there. So Alabama State going into that game, they're going to get a nice, clean bye week to figure out what's off and what's right. Right? So when you really look at this, I'm going to check the chat out a little bit. We got Valley before Bama State. That's FAMU got Valley before Bama State. Interesting matchup. But anyway, you talk about playing at FAMU, right? So from FAMU, you'll play against a Bethune-Cookman team that's, I'm not even gonna lie, they a little defunct. Can't even say that we're gonna be taking this Bethune-Cookman squad serious this year. You might got Cam Ransom at quarterback. I like Tim McClain at quarterback for him, but it's very hard to take this Bethune-Cookman squad serious. I think that's another win, right? And then you got at Jackson State, right? You go to Jackson State. Probably will be the biggest game of the season. Okay, Southern plays Valley before they play Alabama State. Interesting. But you got at Jackson State. This will probably be for the SWAC East Championship. I don't think Florida A&M is going to be in this year. I think it'll probably be Bama State and Jackson State. I think that this game on Saturday, October 11th at Jackson, at the Vet, will probably be your SWAC East Championship game. It's going to be a super big game for Alabama State. Right. But if Alabama State manages to win this game, this would mean they would be front runners in the SWAC East with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks to go, guys. This means that Alabama State, with a win versus Jackson here, could be number 1 in the SWAC East for a month. Think about that. And I know I've been pushing Jackson State. I think Jackson State will win the conference. But when you talk about path to the Celebration Bowl, if Alabama State handles business early and could get wins versus Southern, Florida A&M, and Jackson State early, it's a tall order. If you can at least win 2 of those 3 games, you are in contention to go to the Celebration Bowl. Whether other teams believe it or not, Alabama State puts themselves in contention by winning some of these big games. You got to believe it. So you play at Jackson State, right, and you get a bye week. Week after that, you go versus Alabama A&M, which is going to be the biggest game of the season, right? Magic City Classic. They'll shut it down for this. But after that, you'll play at Prairie View A&M and versus Texas Southern. Now, Prairie View A&M has a bunch of smoke being pushed out around them as they might be contenders out of the SWAC West, which would mean that coming from the SWAC West, say it's Prairie View, you would have already had a chance to play them if you're Bama State. You would have already shown that you could beat them, right? If you had to play Prairie View again in the SWAC championship game. Say it's Southern. You already had a chance to beat them, and you already played them. If you come out of the SWAC East and you had to play either Southern or Prairie View A&M, you have already played them. That is what makes this a very good pass to the Celebration Bowl. You want to talk about an Alabama State team that potentially could play all the top SWAC schools this year. I mentioned last year, what I feel is the top 3 SWAC schools: Jackson State, Florida A&M, Southern. You'll play all 3 of them in the first 6 games of your season. Not only that, you're going to play Southern and Prairie View A&M, which are considered 2 of the top teams in the SWAC West. I believe they're predicted to go 1 and 2 in the SWAC West. That's why the schedule is so important. Now, on top of a lot of all this, they have this very soft side of the bottom of the schedule, right? If, in fact, Alabama State somehow beats Jackson State, right, and takes the lead of the SWAC East, going to the back half of the schedule, if you handle business in a Magic City Classic, Prairie View A&M, and Texas Southern, say you go 2 out of 3 with those games. You play Mississippi Valley, UAPB, and Tuskegee to close the season. That's 3 wins. I'm telling you right now, that's 3 wins. Add those 3 wins to the end of the season. Whatever momentum they have built from early in the season, at the end of the season, you play Valley, UAPB, and Tuskegee. 3 guaranteed wins. Damn near bye games. Respect to Valley, UAPB, but at this point, we got to call it what it is. Last year, I wrote it down, actually. Last year, Valley was 1-11. Let me check out UAPB schedule last. Let me see what their record was. Don't worry about nothing. I do my fact checking live. Hello. So last year, okay, 70-0. God. Okay. 1 win, 2, 3 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 losses. So 3-10. All right. Combined 4 wins out of those 2 teams right there. So when I say things like Alabama State has a schedule that is made for them to go to the Celebration Bowl, these are the different things that I mean. If you really take a look at what they have in front of them in this back half, like just judging by this back half, this is a contender schedule. This schedule is kind of interesting. A lot of coaches don't make it to this schedule because I think this is Coach Eddie Rob's like 3rd year or 4th year at Alabama State. Around this part in scheduling, what I've noticed from athletic directors to coaches, around this part in scheduling, this is where your athletic directors schedule a softer schedule, non-conference schedule, so you can focus on your conference schedule and get those wins. We're seeing the same thing at Morgan State. This is like Damon Wilson's 3rd year at Morgan State, and that schedule is softer than ever. Look at this non-conference schedule for Alabama State. You got Tuskegee, which is now the Turkey Day Classic. They brought it back. Your non-conference games is against Miles College, and then you play UAB. You have 1 bye game, 2 Division II games, right? The athletic director clearly scheduled this so that Alabama State has a favorable non-conference slate, and they're able to handle their conference schedule, right? So looking at this schedule here, number 1, Alabama State could be a scary team if Andrew Body stays healthy. That's number 1. Number 2, this non-conference schedule is very soft. And number 3, Alabama State will probably have the most anticipated games of the season. I'm just going to keep it a buck. A lot of people aren't talking about it right now, but the fact that Alabama State plays at Southern week 1 of the schedule, pretty big game. The fact that Alabama State plays at Florida A&M, Bragg Memorial Stadium at the end of September, that's a pretty big game. The fact that Alabama State plays at Jackson State, you understand that these road games are some of the biggest games in the SWAC? They'll all be on the road for Alabama State. They'll be punching up. But this is a strong path to the Celebration Bowl. You want to talk about a team that could check all the boxes? That's Alabama State. Oh, and the Southern game is a non-conference game anyway. So dig that, right? Southern's non-conference, you could beat them or lose to them and still play them in the SWAC championship game somehow, right? So I like this schedule a lot. I feel like the schedule you really got to watch when you talk about who's going to make it to that Celebration Bowl. We talking about in the chat. What we talking about in the chat? Let's take a look. Jackson's homecoming, not going to happen. MEAC Mike, Bethune-Cookman's fall from grace has been harder than North Carolina A&T's. Bethune-Cookman used to be a dominant FCS and HBCU team that would regularly beat lower-tier FBS teams. D-Lo, what's the deal? I'm gonna tell you this: North Carolina A&T has not won a conference game in 2 years. Can't say the same for Bethune-Cookman. I can't. There are lows, and there is North Carolina A&T low. Okay, A&T is down in the gutters somewhere. They beat Winston-Salem State in overtime. You beat a team with 32 scholarships in overtime. A&T is in trouble. Shout out to Gibbs. He should be bringing things back. But Bethune-Cookman's been pretty low, I will say. And, look, I get it. They used to be super dominant under Brian Jenkins, and I know the things they were doing were pretty astonishing for a MEAC squad. I'm not going to lie. I get that. But, I mean, A&T is down. Like, maybe you could compare UAPB's success and downfall to Bethune-Cookman's, but I know Bethune-Cookman's was longer, but it kind of felt a little bit closer to that, to where A&T isn't even close to competing with anybody. All right, what else we got? Damon Wilson, to keep his job, put together a virtual Division II NAIA schedule. I have never seen a schedule that soft. I've never seen a schedule that soft in my life. Never. All right, so I do got to go to practice pretty soon. We're going to go through one more schedule. And this I have to add a part 2 for y'all, man. We'll do a part 2 of Road to the Celebration Bowl. I got plenty of teams for y'all. Another team, though, we'll talk about Jackson at some point about this. Jackson, to me, is a shoo-in Celebration Bowl champion. I ain't going to lie. That's who I'm taking, y'all. I don't got no bias. I keep it real. That's why I feel like I'm going to win it all. But Grambling has a very interesting schedule. Mickey Joseph is still head coach up there. I notice I'll be doing typos in the search bar, man. I don't like seeing the typos on the replays. All right, so what's next? Grambling. Oh, hey, no. All right, so. Nah, it's me. All right, so let's see. Grambling schedule. They schedule. Oh, here you go, 2025. All right, so 2025. Here we go. Let's take a look at Grambling's schedule. Then I got to go. I got to coach these girls. All right, so 2025 Grambling schedule. This is a very interesting schedule. It's pretty soft indeed. The non-conference slate on this schedule, I'm going to give y'all a clear look at it. Got Langston, Ohio State, and Kentucky State to go with East Texas A&M. Very soft schedule non-conference-wise, right? So let's go through it. Langston Lions are going to lose to Grambling, right? So that's 1-0 for Grambling. That's a win. You go to Ohio State. Ohio State is about to baptize you in the name of the O, the H, the I, and the O. They about to beat the hell out of Grambling, man. It's not going to be close. It's going to be a tune-up game. All that I can ask for is that some Grambling players ball out and get some draft stock or some transfer stock. Whatever you do what you can in this game to make your name known. But most importantly, do not have a season-ending injury or don't really threaten your season in week 2 against a team you know you ain't going to beat. Don't do it. Do not do it. We saw Prairie View A&M about 2 years ago. They're on their way to the SWAC championship to play Jackson State. But the week before the SWAC championship, they played Texas A&M in like a week 13 game. Now, they had this quarterback named Jawan Pass. I know my boys remember. Y'all remember Jawan Pass, right? Transfer from Louisville. He was once a backup to, Lamar Jackson at one point, whatever, right? Jawan Pass, I'm pretty sure Jawan Pass was a quarterback at Prairie View A&M. He was injured ever so slightly in the Texas A&M game. Ever so slightly. That injury pops back up the next week in the SWAC championship game. And now Prairie View A&M does not look as good as they have been the past 12 weeks because Jawan Pass suffered an injury in week 13 against a Division I powerhouse, Texas A&M. Why Jawan Pass was out there, I don't know. Ask Coach Eric Dooley. I don't know why he was out there. So I say that to say, Grambling, when you play Ohio State, you don't have to play number 1 QB and number 1 RB, okay? Maybe a couple series and get them out. You're not going to win this game. So, you go from Ohio State to Kentucky State, right? Big culture shock. You're probably going to beat the hell out of Kentucky State. Kentucky State has a pretty good team. Matter of fact, I just saw their O-line. The O-line looks pretty good. I think Kentucky State will do good in the SIC, but there's no bueno against a Division I opponent. I just don't see it. Then you got East Texas A&M Long Lions. I don't know why I would call them something else. But when we talk about East Texas A&M, team that's pretty much average, middle of the road, so non-conference scheduling. I'm not going to lie. I give that advantage to Grambling, though, right? That game will be at the hole. Okay, so let's get into their SWAC conference schedule, right? If you go through the whole SWAC conference schedule, it is very condensed, right? And I kind of like it that way because it's all back-to-back. If you look at their non-conference, it's 4 straight games. You look at their conference games, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight games, right? With a couple buys in between there. Pretty good scheduling by Coach Mickey Joseph and Travion Scott, I'm not going to lie. This is a pretty formidable schedule. So you look at your conference games. You're going to play at Prairie View A&M. This game versus Prairie View A&M could possibly be one of the most important games in the SWAC West in this month of September. Right? And even leading into October. Because this will probably be, whoever wins this game will probably have pole position in the SWAC West for a good amount of time. Right? Because going into this game, Prairie View A&M will already have played Texas Southern. If they get a win there and a win versus Grambling, that's 2-0 in the SWAC West. They're top of the SWAC West. I don't think Southern has a conference game before then, which would mean that Prairie View A&M with the win versus Texas Southern and Grambling will lead the SWAC West going into October. If you look at Grambling, what they will do when they play against Prairie View A&M, they can get a win there. That sets them up very well for the rest of the SWAC West play, right? Because you have a bye week before you play Texas Southern, which has proven to have been a tough game for Grambling. Then you play at UAPB, which quite honestly can't be that hard. Then you go to Vegas to play an interesting game. I'm not sure if this is a non-conference game or not, but you're going to play against Jackson State in Vegas. And I'm not going to lie, y'all. I'm going to be there. I'm pulling up. Going to be there. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to see Grambling and Jackson State play. Going to be a great showdown. I don't think there's a way Grambling wins this game. They won the game last year on all the turnovers, which was cool, but I can't see that happening again. The only edge I give to Grambling is the fact that this is a neutral site game and this is not a game in the vet. The last time Grambling went to the vet, Jackson State put 66 points on their forehead. Not 40, not 50, 66 points. Okay? All right. Next game. You got at Alabama A&M. Well, actually at home against Alabama A&M. Then you got home against Bethune-Cookman. Then you play at Alcorn State. And then, like we always know, we got the 52nd annual Bayou Classic. All right? So these last 4 games here. Alabama A&M, Bethune-Cookman, at Alcorn State. Interesting games to say the least. But you got to believe that at this point in the season, if Grambling's clicking, they run through a couple of these teams, right? You run through a Bethune-Cookman. Possibly you run through Alabama A&M. It's going to be at the hole. This will be Sam Chase's first time playing at Grambling. Maybe they don't do so well. Grambling's schedule is interesting because of how it was constructed, being as though there's no non-conference games throughout this season. They're only in the first 4 games. But it's interesting because, what's the best way to put it? You don't have to deal with Alabama State. You don't have to deal with FAMU. You're dodging some of the toughest weapons in the SWAC East, and you're essentially just planning for the SWAC West plus Jackson State. All right, and if I feel like Grambling plays Jackson State every year, whether they're in the conference schedule or not. Okay? So, these are my 2 teams with great paths to the Celebration Bowl. I'll have to hop back on stream again either tomorrow or maybe even tonight. We'll talk about all the rest of my teams I got in here. We haven't gotten to the MEAC either. I think the MEAC has a couple teams that have great paths to the Celebration Bowl. I think Grambling has a great path to the Celebration Bowl. Alabama State also has a great path to the Celebration Bowl. I want to remind y'all right now, if y'all are in here, please subscribe to the channel or just like the video. You like the video, I love that. It's your boy Kelly Flicks. I also just dropped my top Division II poll. That's out and circulating now. It's my preseason HBCU Division II poll. Very interesting. I want to get into it today, but we'll find another show to get into it, and I'll get into the whole thing. Because the boy Stephen J. Gaither hating already. Stephen, hold on. What's Stephen say? Stephen going to say, boy, just hating. I don't get it. Stephen going to say, no way. Man, where my Twitter at, man? I'll go ahead and show y'all. This is the type of hate the SIAC be getting from the CIAA, y'all. I'm going to show y'all right now. This is the type of hate. Look at this right here. There goes Stephen J. Gaither hating You know, because he run this WSSU Ram Nation page. He run this. He says, no way 6 of the top 10 are the conference that got swept by the other. I'm here to tell you today, Stephen J. Gaither, or whoever's behind the Washington State Rams Nation page. This is 2025. It's a new year. It's a brand new year. And I'm going to show you a little sneak peek of the Reagan since it's right here. It's up on my Twitter right now. Please go take a look. It's also on Facebook groups circulating, and it'll be on Instagram not very long, but take a good look at it. Those are my top Division II rankings going into the year. So y'all go ahead and get a good look at that. All right. Let me see this. Let's go here. All right, man. Thank y'all for tuning in with me today. I have to make it a short show. I got to go coach my girls. Flag football season has started. My first game is September 3rd. So coming up right now is big, heavy training camp season. I'm going to be coaching them tonight and also tomorrow too. We'll be at it again next week. Seed LA is the name of the high school I'm coaching at. And we got to get them right, man. We got to get them right. So I'm going to go ahead and give them some instructions tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tapping in with me tonight. If you watching, please go ahead and send this video a like, subscribe to the channel, get updates, and hit the notification bell because I kind of go live randomly sometimes. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to try to keep Wednesdays a regular thing, but hit that notification bell so you know every time I'm on live and we could talk about the newest stuff in HBC